How did you get here?
Poor sanitation.
You're hired.
I didn't buy a plane ticket. I hitched a ride on your salad.
Who wants to talk about what happened?
I've been blamed for everything. I've been sliced for years, and somehow I'm the one making everybody cry.
Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive. Secure 65 health plans where senior thrive. Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
Talk Power Thursday, the explosive diarrhea edition. Well, somebody owes lettuce an apology. Or maybe somebody owes us an explanation. Just days ago, we were told the Cyclospora outbreak had been traced to contaminated lettuce, right? You guys remember? Then the FDA said the positive laboratory result was a false positive, but the recall stayed in place. The investigation stayed in place. The trace back to the lettuce stayed in place. And health officials are still telling people not to eat the recalled products. Okay, think about this. So apparently the lettuce is innocent, but we are still treating it like it knows something. Welcome to another episode of the As the Cyclospora Turns. Hi everyone, I'm Monet Swan, and this is Talk Power Thursday, brought to you every week by Secure 65 Health Plans, where seniors thrive, and the Collaborative Expansion Foundation, which works to ensure that seniors and families receive trustworthy information, resources, and support. Now, this program is also sponsored in part by Bivix Wealth and Insurance Solutions. And please, don't just watch today for the entertainment value. I know it's great. Yes, because we are going to laugh, but sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying in your oatmeal. But protecting your health is only one part of protecting your life. So you guys make an appointment with one of our financial professionals at Bivix Wealth and Insurance Solutions to review whether your insurance, your retirement strategy, your estate plan, and family protections are all actually working the way you think they are. Because lettuce is not the only thing capable of surprising you. Now, let's get into this explosive situation. Cyclospora is not a virus, you guys. It is a microscopic parasite that causes an intestinal infection known as cyclosporiasis. Okay, so now before we go any further, let's answer the question everyone is asking, at least thinking. Where does this parasite actually come from? Okay, you guys, brace yourself. It comes from human poop. Yes, I know, human poop. It's disgusting. Nobody wanted to hear those two words before lunch. Sorry, guys. But cyclospora is spread when food or water becomes contaminated with the feces of an infected person. Gross. The parasite itself doesn't magically appear on lettuce, though, okay? It gets there when produced or water is being used during harvesting or processing, and that water becomes contaminated. Okay. And once that contaminated produce reaches your grocery store, your restaurant, or even your favorite drive-through, well, that parasite gets a free ride into your dinner plate. So now, before you swear off salad, take a deep breath, because this doesn't mean every head of lettuce is contaminated. It doesn't mean every farmer is doing something wrong. Okay. But here's another question many people are asking, and they should. How does human feces or poop end up on your food plate or in your food plate in the first place? And the honest answer is there isn't just one way. Public health experts have identified several possible routes. Okay. Contaminated irrigation water, improper sanitation, unsafe handling during harvesting or processing. And yes, some farm workers advocate that it's about food safety. And experts have raised concerns for years that not all agricultural workers have access to clean hand washing stations, safe drinking water, or enough restroom facilities out in the field. So think about it. If someone spends 10 or 12 hours harvesting fruits and vegetables, but there aren't enough clean places to wash their hands or enough properly maintained restrooms, the risk of contamination, you guys, increases and explodes. And that doesn't mean every farm has this problem. Okay, so let's not get overwhelmed. But we need to understand that a majority of the farmers work incredibly hard to produce safe food and follow strict food safety practices. But it only takes one breakdown in sanitation somewhere along the food chain for thousands of people to become sick. And that's why food safety isn't just about growing healthy food. It's also about protecting the people who harvest it, okay? Because healthy workers, clean water, proper hand washing stations, adequate restroom facilities should not be a luxury. They're an important part of protecting our nation's food supply. And I think that's important. And I think you do too. And until investigators identify exactly where this contamination occurred, well, we shouldn't just point fingers at one farm, one company, or one group of workers. But what we should know is this. Taylor Farms voluntarily recalled iceberg lettuce sourced from central Mexico. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the FDA's traceback investigation converged on Taylor Farms de Mexico as the common supplier for the implicated shedded iceberg lettuce. And number three, the FDA later determined the positive laboratory test on, guess what? One lettuce sample. One was a false positive, but it did not withdraw the recall because the epidemiological and traceback evidence still pointed to that lettuce. Now, what we don't know is the sanitary conditions on the farms in central Mexico, whether there were enough hand washing stations, whether there were enough restrooms or porta potty facilities on the property, whether farm workers' sanitations played any role in this specific outbreak. Those points have been raised generally in discussions about agricultural worker conditions, but they have not been identified by investigators as the cause of this outbreak. But what we should recognize that good sanitation, it protects everyone, you guys, from the farm to your family's dinner table. And it means somewhere along that food chain, sanitation broke down. And that's exactly why tracing these outbreaks is so incredibly difficult. Investigators have to work backwards through farms, irrigation systems, processing plants, transportation, distributors, restaurants, and grocery stores trying to answer one simple question. Where did the poop enter the picture? Now, not exactly the kind of mystery anyone wanted to solve for a living, but that's exactly what epidemiologists do. Which also explains why washing your produce, paying attention to recalls, and having strong public health surveillance systems matter so much. Because once human waste contaminates food, it's no longer just about a salad, okay? It's about protecting the entire food supply. And when I say intestinal infection, let's just say you may become much more familiar with your bathroom than you ever wanted to be. And let's also say this illness can cause prolonged watery diarrhea, stomach cramps, bloating, gas, nausea, fatigue, loss of appetite, and weight loss. Kind of like some weight loss drugs you've tried. But with possible fever and vomiting, that's when it gets serious. So, however, those things are a little bit less common, you guys. But the good news is that most healthy adults recover. The bad news is that the symptoms may continue for days or even weeks, especially without proper diagnosis and treatment. And for seniors, my beloved seniors, people with weakened immune systems, those receiving chemotherapy, people taking immune suppressing medications, and anyone already dealing with serious health problems. Dehydration can become extremely dangerous. Dehydration does not simply make you thirsty, you guys. It can lower your potassium, and low potassium can interfere with normal heart rhythms. Okay, so if you are older, you're frail, immunocompromised, or living with heart disease, prolonged diarrhea is not something you should simply just try to ride it out, okay? This is not a rodeo. Call your doctor. Now, here's one reason Cyclospora can be so difficult to trace. Symptoms may not begin until roughly 1 to 2 weeks after a person eats contaminated food. And by the time investigators ask, "What did you eat?" you are trying to remember lunch from two Tuesdays ago. Listen, I can barely remember where I put my reading glasses 20 minutes ago. And now you want me to remember which taco had lettuce on it? Yeah, good luck with that. So let me just tell you, the public health investigators must interview patients, compare grocery purchases, restaurant visits, and meals. They have to also identify a common food, then trace that food backward through distributors, processors, farms, and suppliers. It's truly detective work, except instead of chasing a bank robber, they are chasing a passport assigned to a parasite. Now, the investigation has involved thousands of confirmed or suspected illnesses across dozens of states, with Michigan reporting the largest concentration of cases. Health officials have also warned that not every reported case is necessarily connected to the same outbreak. So no, this is not necessarily one rebellious salad traveling across America causing chaos. There may be more than one investigation happening at the same time. Now let's return to the lettuce mystery. The FDA reviewed a laboratory finding that appeared to show Cyclospora in a lettuce sample, and later determined that result was a false positive. However, officials said that finding did not change the broader epidemiological evidence, the investigation, or the voluntary recalls. Translation: the test was wrong, but the concern was not erased. Taylor Farms still recalled certain iceberg lettuce from central Mexico, and affected products were removed from locations connected to the investigation. Now, Walmart also announced recalls involving certain market-side iceberg salad and shredded lettuce products, while restaurants including Taco Bell and Jack in the Box removed affected supplies. So check your refrigerator, it's important. Now, if you have a product covered by a recall, please, you guys, throw it away. Don't rinse it and eat it. Throw it away. Do not remove one suspicious leaf and declare the rest of the bag innocent. And please don't say, but I paid good money for that salad. Your emergency room deductible costs more than that lettuce, okay? Let's be real. Now, here is the part that should concern every American. Whether you eat salad or think kale tastes like lawn clippings, like I do. I want to know, why did it take so long to identify what was happening? According to CNN's reporting and the public health experts it interviewed, federal staffing reductions and surveillance changes may have made outbreak detection and investigation much more difficult. One federal laboratory that specialized in parasitic outbreaks reportedly had its staff reduced from 11 to 3 people. 11 people to 3. The former director warned that those reductions could affect the government's ability to identify future outbreaks quickly. CNN also reported a broader CDC staffing reduction of approximately 25%. The White House disputes claims that those changes they made delayed the response, and that disagreement should be stated clearly. But I'm going to leave that up to you. Another major concern involves FoodNet, a CDC-supported surveillance system that had monitored 8 common foodborne pathogens. Cyclospora was reportedly removed from that part of the routine federal surveillance after changes in 2025. Now think about that. Imagine your neighborhood has 11 security guards. Then it cuts the team down to 3. Then someone asks why it took so long to catch the burglar. Well, perhaps because 8 people are no longer at work. That is not advanced mathematics, okay? When there are fewer epidemiologists, fewer laboratory scientists, fewer investigators, and fewer experienced leaders, state health departments may have to pull employees away from other responsibilities and work overtime to trace outbreaks. So public health is one of those services people barely notice when everything is working fine. You go to the grocery store, you buy lettuce, you make a salad, you eat it. Nothing dramatic happens. And there's no breaking news, no interview with your bathroom. And that boring outcome is actually the goal. Food safety systems are supposed to work quietly in the background. But when those systems lose staffing, expertise, or coordination, the public may not appreciate what has disappeared until thousands of people are sick. Now, this is not about choosing a political team, you guys. I'm not saying that, but it is about preparedness. Parasites don't vote. They don't watch cable news. They don't even care whether you're Republican or Democrat, independent or completely exhausted by all 3. They just want a free ride into your digestive system. And that is one guest nobody has invited. So now, before we move into exactly how to protect yourself, it's time for a brief moment of relief. Because after talking about contaminated lettuce, federal staffing, laboratory confusion, and explosive diarrhea, we all need to breathe. So coming up now is our comment break featuring Austin Bloxson. Austin reminds us that even when the news is serious, Laughter can give us enough room to process it, learn from it, and continue the conversation without losing our minds. So take a breath, loosen up, and enjoy today's comic break with Austin Blockson.
Secure 60 fast-class planes, or singing flight. Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
Welcome back to Talk Power Thursday. Thank you, Austin, for giving us a moment to laugh before we return to the part that may help keep you out of the hospital. So let's talk about what you should actually do, okay? First and foremost, pay attention to all official recalls. Check the brand, the product name, the package size, and the date. If the product matches a recall, throw it away. Second, wash fresh produce under clean running water. Remove damaged portions and discard the outer leaves from heads of lettuce or even cabbage. But let me make this crystal clear. Washing can reduce dirt and maybe some contamination, but it cannot guarantee that Cyclospora has been removed. Okay? And please do not wash produce with soap, bleach, household disinfectants, or cleaning products. I'm sure you guys know that, but let me just throw that in there, okay? Because your salad is not your bathtub. Number 3, be careful with foods commonly associated with Cyclospora outbreaks, including leafy greens, fresh herbs, and some berries. That doesn't mean you should stop eating fruits and vegetables forever, okay? One doctor in the material we reviewed made an important point. Fear should not drive people away from nutritious food, okay? The answer is not to abandon produce and live on French fries. The answer is to make informed choices, follow recalls, and prepare food carefully. And fourth, know the symptoms. Seek medical advice if watery diarrhea lasts for more than a couple of days, okay? And especially if it returns after appearing to improve or is accompanied by weakness, dizziness, dehydration, significant weight loss, or an ability to keep fluids down. Seniors and immunocompromised individuals should call sooner rather than later, okay? Cyclospora is treatable. Doctors commonly use a prescription antibiotic once the infection has been properly diagnosed. But many routine stool tests do not automatically include Cyclospora. Okay, your physician may have to specifically request the test. So when you call, mention that you are concerned about possible exposure to Cyclospora, especially if you recently ate recalled produce or food connected to an outbreak. Don't simply say, "My stomach feels funny," and then leave your doctor to solve the mystery with no clues. Help them help you. Best way to do it, okay? And also stay hydrated. Drink fluids and follow your physician's instructions, especially if you have kidney disease, heart disease, or another condition that limits how much fluid or electrolyte replacement you should consume. Now, you may hear recommendations online for parasite cleanses, detox products, herbs, seeds, vinegar solutions, or homemade treatments. Okay. Some physicians and holistic practitioners recommend natural approaches. But you guys, those products are not substitutes for diagnosis and appropriate medical care. Certain herbs and supplements may interact with medications or cause side effects. Okay. And natural does not automatically mean harmless. Poison ivy is natural. Okay, we're not putting that in any smoothies. The strongest practical message from the holistic physician was not to panic, not to assume one day of diarrhea automatically means cyclospora, and not to stop eating healthy foods because of fear. That's not the goal, okay? And I think those ideas are reasonable. But if symptoms persist, seek medical care and don't spend a week trying to negotiate with a parasite using pumpkin seeds while your body becomes dehydrated, okay? Now, let's put this entire story into perspective. One, we have a major outbreak. We have an unusual delay between eating contaminated food and developing symptoms. We also have a disputed laboratory result, just on one test. We have recalls that remain in place despite that false positive. So was it? We have staffing and surveillance concerns raised by public health experts. Of course, we have state agencies working to trace cases. Thank God. And we have a public trying to determine whether dinner is going to end peacefully or become a hostage situation. But listen, you guys, the lesson is bigger than lettuce. Food recalls happen. Investigations evolve. Initial reports may be corrected. That's why reliable information matters, okay? Your health should not depend on a rumor, a social media headline, or somebody's cousin who heard something, okay? Secure 65 Health Plans brings you these updates every week because seniors deserve more than fear and confusion. You guys deserve facts, context, and clear actions to take. And the Collaborative Expansion Foundation helps us extend education, wellness resources, fraud prevention, food support, technology assistance, and other services to seniors in communities that need them. Quality information requires research, production, time, and support. So please help the Collaborative Expansion Foundation continue bringing valuable information to the public every day of the week. Donate, share our work with everyone, volunteer and partner with us, and introduce our mission to organizations that care about protecting seniors and all people. And we want to thank Vivix Wealth and Insurance Solutions for sponsoring this program and supporting financial education. And again, please don't just watch our podcast simply for entertainment purposes. We want you to be happy, but we also want you to learn, okay? Schedule an appointment with one of our financial professionals. Make sure your insurance coverage, your retirement strategy, your estate plan, and family protections are not full of confusion like we found with the lettuce. Protect yourself. It's something you do not only during an outbreak, but all the time. It's something you do every single day. So if you like this, share this video with the person who buys groceries for your family, right? Share it with your parents, your grandparents, your neighbors, your church members, and senior community. And definitely share it with that one person who believes expiration dates are merely friendly suggestions. One share could save someone from weeks of illness. I'm Monet Swan with Secure 65 Health Plans, where seniors thrive. So you guys stay informed, stay protected, stay empowered, stay happy, healthy, golden. And remember, don't invite that lettuce to dinner. Make sure it has passed your background check. And as always, remember, I love you guys. So go out there and have a wonderful day. Bye.
Secure 65 class plans, we're saying it thrive. Secure 65 health plans, where seniors thrive.
PivX Wealth Insurance Solutions.